When you don't speak up, you erode your confidence. You erode your confidence and you create more self-esteem issues, because what you're proving to yourself is that you are not important. You are absolutely important. Your opinions, your thoughts, your questions, they really matter.
Hey, chosen ones, how are you doing? My name is Anita, and today let's talk about speaking up. For me, speaking up has been something I have learned as I've grown along the way. It wasn't something I always did. I was a type that I would like to avoid conflict. I was afraid that people would judge me if I spoke up. I would probably say something stupid. And I see things completely different now. I am, awakened. I am aware of my surroundings. I know who I am. I know whose I am. And I'm confident enough now to be able to speak out, speak up when I need to. So let's talk about chosen ones. I grew up in a household where, you could say and speak, but you wasn't really listened to. Your thoughts were kind of like brushed off, and it was just that, sometimes you were made to feel like you were being heard, but in most cases you wasn't, because everything that you did had to be according to what your parents wanted, basically, right? And because of that, I didn't really speak much, because I thought when I speak, nobody really listens anyway, right? But one thing I did have when I was growing up was a sense of what was right and what was wrong, okay? And I would always speak up against what I felt was wrong. And that would lead to me getting in trouble. It would lead to me not getting the things I was supposed to get, and my siblings getting them, because I spoke against what was being said or what was being done. And I've always been very strong about injustice. It's just part of me. I don't like injustice, and I feel like we all need to speak up against it. And so even growing up, where I felt that there was injustice, I would be the first ones to speak up, and that would get me in trouble a lot. So anyway, getting into an older age, maybe in school, college, I used to be extremely shy. I wasn't encouraged at home to speak my mind. When I did, I would always get in trouble. And so going out into the world and speaking up, I thought I would get in trouble. I thought I had to be very respectful to my teachers. And when respect, there's a difference between respect and, speaking respectfully, right? But I felt like respect was not challenging. Respect was just listening to what your elders said. When actually, respect is different to speaking respectfully. I always tell my kids, if I tell you off, you've done something and you want to speak about it, you want us to discuss it, make sure you speak respectfully. You can disagree respectfully and we can talk about it. But if it gets to the level of disrespect, that's when we don't go there. And so I thought not contesting, not speaking up, not having your voice heard was respect. That was one of my first flaws, one of the first issues for me. And so I never spoke up. And not only that, I felt like if I said something and it was stupid, people would laugh, right? Not realizing that everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has a right to speak, whether it's stupid or not. You have the right to ask your questions, to contest something. You have a right, okay? And this is something I've learned as well. The other thing is I felt I didn't know who I was when I was growing up. I wasn't confident in myself. I wasn't confident in my personality. I wasn't confident in what I believed. I just wasn't a confident person, unfortunately. And it's surprising because I always came across as confident to people, but I was so insecure. My self-esteem was so low. And people could not tell, which was a blessing. I think God just covered me in those times, But as I've grown older and as I've really worked on myself, and it's been developed through getting into toxic relationships where I have not spoken up and I've gotten into trouble because of not speaking up. I've learned the importance of speaking up. And this is one of the things I teach my children. And we constantly go over and over again. The fact that communication is very important. If you're feeling a particular way, if you have a particular thought, let's talk about it. I prefer the truth to anything else. And you will not get in trouble for speaking the truth. We will speak and we will come to some kind of conclusion. And if there are consequences for something, let there be consequences. But there's always love as the foundation in our home. And again, that's something I had to actively work on, because it was like, I didn't want to bring up my kids to be afraid to speak, to be able to tell me the truth, and to feel like the consequences would be so harsh that they wouldn't, overcome them. So they know if they've done something that they shouldn't have done, there will be consequences, but the love is the foundation and you can come back from the consequences at any point. And so one of the things I learned as well is that when you don't speak up, you erode your confidence. You erode your confidence and you create more self-esteem issues, because what you're proving to yourself is that you are not important. You are absolutely important. Your opinions, your thoughts, your questions, they really matter. And half of the time, the questions that you have is the same questions that a lot of people have, but they're afraid to speak. Now, as a chosen one, we are leaders. We are natural born leaders. So in that case, you're thinking of a question and you're speaking of the question. You speaking out the question is so important for everybody else, right? Because you are setting the tone for everyone else to be able to be comfortable to speak, right? And to ask their questions. So it's really important, especially for chosen ones, to be confident enough to speak your thoughts and not care what people think about you. For me, I'm so excited because I've been on a very long self-love journey ever since I, ended my marriage, and I was able to kind of do a lot of like self-healing, right? And one of the things was that self-love really helps you to appreciate who you are. It helps you to know that you are important, you are unique, you are special, you are made in God's image, and therefore you have a right. You on this earth is like, you take up space, take up the space that you deserve. Don't feel like you're speaking too much or you're asking too many questions or your boundaries are too high. They are not. You have a right to everything you feel you need to do. Okay. And then when you want to speak up immediately. Obviously, run it through your mind first. Don't just speak for the sake of speaking. Obviously, just just make sure that it makes sense, okay? And then speak. But don't hold on to it, because what happens is, if you want to ask a question or you want to speak, as soon as you hold that question for a few seconds, you talk yourself out of speaking up. So when you think of something, obviously run it through your mind, your brain, and then speak it out, regardless of what people will say, regardless of if there's retaliation, because there are ways to speak that will avoid unnecessary arguments or drama and all of those kind of things. And actually that leads me onto some Bible verses on communicating with others that kind of sets the tone, I feel, for how we should communicate with others. It's raining outside, by the way, and there's thunder, there's lightning, and I absolutely love it. When it's raining outside and I'm indoors, it's just the best thing ever. So if you can hear the rain, it's because, yes, it's raining, and it's a very beautiful time here right now. So the first Bible verse I'm going to read is from Colossians chapter 4, verse 6, and it's from the NLT, which is the New Living Translation. I really just love this translation. And so it reads, "Let your conversation be gracious and attractive, so that you will have the right response for everyone." Okay, so that just tells us that when we speak, we need to speak graciously. Okay, when you have questions, ask them gracefully. Ask them graciously. Don't speak harshly or in a wild manner or in an angry manner. There is a way to communicate. Okay. The second Bible verse is taken from Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. And it says, "A gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare." Okay. And it is the case, right? If somebody says something stupid or annoying or irritating or harsh or, condescending, whatever it is, right? How you respond is very important. We are not here to react to people's comments or whatever they say. We are here to respond. But how should we respond? In a gentle way that deflects anger. Okay, so that's the second Bible verse that I wanted to read. And let's move on to the third one. And then the third and final Bible verse is from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 25. And it says here, so stop telling lies. Let us tell our neighbors the truth, for we are all part of the same body. Okay. So as I was talking about earlier, how I encourage my kids to speak the truth, no matter what the truth is, because it's better than lies. We need to tell those who we love, our neighbors, our friends, the people we work with, the truth. We don't have to lie. We don't have to lie, because lying is deceitful and lying does not come from God. Okay. And fair enough, I can sit here and say, lying does not come from God, but we've all lied before. We all lie once in a while. And so I'm not perfect, but the point is that I'm just telling you how we should behave. Nobody is perfect, but you should always strive to not do the things that we do. Okay, sometimes we say it's a little white lie, or it's something so it doesn't hurt them. A lie is a lie. A lie is a lie. Okay, so Let's speak out. Let's speak up, okay? But let's be mindful of how we speak. Let's be mindful of how we communicate. Let's be mindful of the words that we use when we're communicating. But as chosen ones, it's really important that you speak up. Speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. Speak up for those who then you will inspire to speak up too. Speak up for those where you feel have been put in situations which are unjust, okay? Do your part. Do not be afraid. You've got a mouth. You've got a mouth, and you've got mind of wisdom. You've got a spirit of excellence. Chosen ones, you can do it. Let's speak up in meetings, in meetings where people are trying to maybe put other people down, or they're trying to push the wrong agenda, or they're trying to do things to make themselves, their ego, look inflated. Speak up against it, because right now we are planted here to be the light for those who cannot see, okay? And that's really the message for today, chosen ones. I think I've spoken for quite a while today, but I really felt called to speak about this. Let's be wise. Let's be respectful in the words that we use, the way we communicate, the way we speak to people, and everything else will fall into place. So, chosen ones, once again, my name is Anita. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to encourage you, chosen ones, if there's something that you need to do that you haven't started doing yet, please just start today. If there's something you need to speak about that you haven't spoken about, please speak up today, because you are supported, you are guided. God loves you, and God has chosen you to be the light in this world, okay? So don't waste any time. Don't waste your gifts. Just start using them, and just don't wait, okay? If you liked my video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell, because that bell will indicate to you anytime I come out with a new video, because I am coming up with videos daily for you guys, for now at least. But yeah, I just want to send you lots of love, lots of encouragement, and just go for it, chosen ones. Let's speak up. Let's be the light. Let's have our voices heard, and let's represent who we're supposed to be representing. That is God, our Father in heaven. All right, my lovely ones, take care and see you soon. Bye.